Hello, everybody. So excited to see you all. Well, I haven't seen anybody yet, but you know the routine. Have to wait for this to come up on the screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, I'm already muted. Yay. All right. Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you. You know, the old 30-second delay. Got to wait for you to come in the room. Can you believe we are on quarantine number 26? Oh, there's Tony from Montreal. Okay, you guys are starting to come in. So what was I going to tell you today before we started? Oh, yeah. It's crazy warm here in New York. So I put on my sweater because I thought like, oh, I'll be cozy. But I may have to divest myself of my sweater at some point if things get too hot. Okay, y'all are coming in. Hello from Newcastle, from New Zealand. Ooh, awesome. Florida, Long Island, UK. Excellent. Oh, it's Thursday morning. It's Thursday morning in New Zealand. Hey, wait a minute. I'm wondering if a certain someone that is here is going to cause more visitors from Australia and New Zealand. We shall see. So anyway, before I forget, you know, that regular business that my brand marketing consultant reminds me to do, and I always forget, which is to be good and say, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. And if you enjoy this video, give me a like. I always forget to say that. Anyway, I was going to tell you about the two next classes that I'm doing, the Build a Better Fabric, Perfect Your Knitting on November 18th and December 2nd. But I put one Instagram post up and they both filled. So I will be doing it again. I put those up for the knit along group for everyone that's knitting affinity, so folks could have first crack at that. And I gave the knit along group the weekend to book, and then I opened it up to Instagram, I think on yesterday. And I was going to put it in my newsletter today, but all 100 spots are gone. So don't worry. I'll be doing more sessions. It's just hard to find time between the Zooms that I'm doing for the knit along and the other classes that I'm teaching and all that stuff, but I will find the time. Okay, Atlanta, Santa Cruz, Madrid. Okay, we have a very worldwide audience, which is perfect for today's guest because she is probably, my most well-traveled friend of anybody that I know. In fact, at some point, we live in the same town, but at some point, her Facebook page was just, you know, when you do that little Facebook page check-in and it's just like the airport and it's, you know, where you're flying off to. That was like 100% of her Facebook content was just where she's flying off to. So I'm so thrilled to have the one and only, without further ado, the one and only, Trisha Malcolm. Come on in. Oh, there she is. Okay, let me kill this. Oh, look, I hear Brooklyn. I just heard a siren.
Yes, yes.
Now I'm homesick. That's Brooklyn. That's Brooklyn, everyone. So everyone's saying hi from Ashland, from Charlotte, from Virginia. We have a couple of New Zealand folks here today.
Nice.
If Aussie's in the house, I need you guys to, you know, give me a shout out. But we do have folks from all over the world, and I'm guessing some of them are here to see you. Hello.
Well, maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm glad they're here.
I just told a story about you, and I'm trying to remember whether it was in one of the YouTube lives that's already been. Oh, no, you know what? I think it was on, I did a cast on with Brenda Dane, and I think it was on that. And I don't know whether it's going to be edited out because I can't remember. We talked for so long if it was part of the podcast or not. But I told the story about how you were the first person to use the D word with me and how I roundly rejected it at first. You were the first person ever to use the word designer. And I poo-pooed you, and I was like, no, I don't know. I mean,
yes, I remember that.
I make up a pattern, like I knit a thing that I want, and so then I make up a pattern for it. And you were like,
I remember that because I was like, that's a designer. And you were like, no, I'm not a designer. Yes, you are.
So how many people in your life have you had that type of conversation with?
Oh, God.
You've mentored so many people.
I hope I have. You know, I was in the perfect position to do that, so that helped. But it was one of my favorite things, you know, like Brooke, for instance, you know, the first time I saw something she was wearing, and I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. And I went over to her and I'm like, whose pattern is that?
Do you remember where that was? Because I was there.
Yeah, it was either Portland or Seattle.
Yeah, and because it was at a Yarn Market News.
Yes,
and it was, I think it was Seattle, because I think Seattle came first. And she was wearing one of her big lace thing with like a medallion. Yeah, and you said, you just like casually said, oh, well, you know, call me. We should talk about you being in the magazine. And then you walked away, and she was like, what the hell just happened? So yeah, you like dropped that little like, oh yeah.
Well, it's so cool when you see someone out there doing something fabulous, you know, and something new. And I mean, after all these years, I can still get excited about that, which is nice too.
How many people do you think in your whole life doing this, which is how many years?
Oh, dear. Well, I was at Vogue Knitting for 21.
21 years. Oh, my God.
I can't believe it. But I was. Yeah.
You know, I was talking to, that means that you were at one job for 4 years less than the age of this little Instagram person that I was talking to that I'm going to have on the channel because I think she's adorable. But I found out she was 25 and I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. But that's so cool that you found someone who's 25 who's doing something that excites you. That's great.
I'm like obsessed with these TikTok videos she does. That's all about her spinning
that's so cool.
and her knitting. And I sound like I'm 100 years old, but I'm like, I just think she's so cool. But how many people do you think you've discovered?
I have no idea.
Years? I mean, it must be an insane number of people.
Know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't really think about it. What I think about is just I've met some incredible people, absolutely amazing people, you know, and anyone who's making knitting and doing it all the time, there's something in here that's really kind of very special. And that's what I find the most amazing thing is everyone's story and how they came to it.
Yeah.
You know, whether they're an engineer or whether they were, you know, a stay-at-home mom or whether they, you know, picked it up from a friend. It doesn't matter. It's like everyone's got a little story about their knitting, you know, and it's incredible.
Does one like pop into your head of someone that you met or, you know, maybe someone that is now like really famous that you met and thought like, oh God, this person's amazing or hilarious or like Debbie was kind of hilarious.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was texting with her this week. She is hysterical. Yeah. And I mean, there's just so many great people, you know, like it's too hard to like name people, you know, and I don't want to sound like a name dropper too.
No, but I mean, that's the crazy thing about anyone that knows that gets to be in your world is for you, they're all just, you know, they're just people. They're the people that you work with. They're just your friends. But to us.
Oh, to me also.
But so you were the one who introduced me to Debbie Bliss at a Vogue at the bar. And you guys were there and laughing and Carol was there and Brooke was there. And I walked up and you said, oh, Patty, oh, Debbie, you should meet Patty. You guys will enjoy each other. And I looked up and I was like, oh, that's Debbie Bliss. She just said
Yeah.
to Debbie Bliss, you should meet Patty. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Which was great, right?
Oh my God. She just, and her daughter. Oh,
I know.
I've
I love
never,
Mel.
I don't think I've ever laughed so much as I did that night.
Yep.
I miss that so much.
I do too. I really do. That's I think been the hard thing about this year is just the lack of connection. You don't accidentally bump into people at either industry events or at consumer events. It's all you've got to really make
Yeah.
that effort. And it's like we were talking about earlier, when you've got a full-time gig, it's really full-on full-time this year in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're exhausted. And I mean, even don't you find that there's something more kind of soul sucking about the screen versus I would teach for 6 hours at Vogue in person, and that's exhausting.
Absolutely.
Then I'd go back to the room, like I put on my non-teaching pants, which are pants that are 2 sizes larger. Those are my drinking pants. And then head down to the bar and meet all of you guys. So somehow I still had the energy. But
Yes, but
you
that's
guys
adrenaline.
energized. Yeah.
That's adrenaline. And you've got friends and you've already organized to meet. You're not going to let them down.
No, but also that doesn't suck the energy. It gives energy.
Yes. Yes. You feed off that,
Yeah.
but you can do that on Zoom. I've been surprised too this year how intimate Zoom can be. And a few people have told me that too, that they've taken classes and it feels more intimate than being in a classroom because you're this close to the teacher.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like if you go to, say, a CAFE lecture, a friend of mine was like, this was amazing because normally, I'm row 60 or something. And he was right in front of me and right as close as I could get to my computer.
Well, that
So there is that.
I believe that, and I've heard that from so many students. I believe that for the students that when attending the class, people have said, oh, we see your hands even so much better. And, and I work off 2 monitors where I can see everyone in class. And I definitely I'm always responding to people. It's more the hanging out with friends.
That's been hard.
Harder.
Yeah.
That's harder.
And then, you might get together on Zoom with a group of people. And if there's too many people, it just kills the conversation. And then sometimes it's just one-on-one, which is great. But you miss that sort of spontaneity of bumping into other people, or
like at the
comes
teacher
along,
table. Like
Exactly.
one of my it's so stupid, but one of my favorite things is in the morning. Hope this isn't too boring for all of you guys, but basically how this works is at the teacher table, you go and you pick up your roster for the day, and we're all checking in around the same time. So that's often where you get to see your friends. And that was another, not unlike the Debbie Bliss moment at the teacher table. That was another crazy moment where I hear this voice with a fairly recognizable accent saying, Patty, I've always wanted to meet you. And I look up and it's Deborah Newton. And
she does have a very recognizable voice. Yes.
Very recognizable. Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with Deborah Newton. And, and Deborah Newton said, oh, you're Patty Lyons. I've always wanted to meet you. And I looked up and I said, why? Because I couldn't imagine. And I asked you about it. I said, why would A, Deborah Newton know I'm alive, and B, want to meet me? And you said, oh, she first of all, she's keeps on top of everything that's going on in the knitting world. And she said, second of all, she likes your attention to detail. She's meticulous in her finishing and her swatching, and she liked that. But that was just one of those teacher table moments where I was like, oh my God. And then I immediately went and ran to find you. To find out, because you know everything and everybody. Oh my God, I'm catching up on the comments. They're flying in. Oh, Sharon said, I went to my first VK Live in January in New York City, and I'm so glad I went.
Also because doesn't look like there's going to be one this coming January, which is making us all very sad.
I know.
But that's
Oh,
great that she got there.
Crooked Knit says the Trisha story you told on Quarantine Live was I forgot that was about scolding me and Stephanie Pearl McPhee to mingle during the cocktail hour of the first Vogue. I forgot. I did tell that
Like,
story.
guys, come on, please.
Do you remember that? Yeah. That was the only time we did that. It was the Meet the Teacher cocktail night. Yeah. But it was our very first Vogue. So we were like all so excited to be together.
Yeah.
And you would walk around and go, break it up.
Yes, with my ex-school teacher voice. Come on, move it.
Mingle. Oh my God, I totally forgot that. Oh
because everyone was too frightened to mingle with the teachers, and the teachers just wanted to hang out together. So you had clumps of people and clumps of teachers. So we never did it again.
Yeah, and the teacher meeting in a if you ever asked me, if you asked me last year, would you miss the teacher meeting? I'd say, are you crazy? That teacher, oh my God, it's so boring. I miss the teacher meeting so much.
Well, I liked it when we would go have the meeting and then go and have cocktails in my room. That was the fun part.
Right, I forgot you didn't.
Remember?
Yes.
We used to do that for so many shows, and then I don't know why, but kind of they cut it out.
Oh, I forgot.
That was always fun.
Right, we kind of kept it. It was a little secret.
Yeah,
because we didn't want the.
It was just the teachers.
Yeah,
we'd bring in food and pizza and wine and beer and vodka and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for Vogue, I wouldn't know 90% of the people I know. Honestly.
That was, it was amazing to bring everyone together. That was a really cool thing about the shows.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I mean, first of all, some of my dearest friends I met through the show, but then just people I admire I've met through the show. Like Sven and Laura from North Light Fibers. I met them through the show. Mm-hmm. So many people.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm. I know.
All right. So what's one other thing you miss from our old life?
You mean pre-quarantine?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say airports, planes.
Really?
Going places, yes. I'm always, like you said before, I love to travel. You know, I went to actually Australia and New Zealand this year. So hello, New Zealand people. I was in Auckland for 24 hours or 36 hours or something in February. Because actually, just so the New Zealand people know this, I now work for Rowan, as you can probably see behind me.
That's so funny that just as you said this, Marcia just posted in the questions, is Trisha still at Rowan? So Marcia, here we go.
Yes, still at Rowan. But we opened a Rowan flagship store, actually 3 of them in New Zealand this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
So
I went to visit those people.
3. So where are the 3?
The biggest one's in Auckland, and then there's one in Christchurch, and God, I think it's Wellington. I'm pretty sure it's Wellington. Yeah,
that'd be a bucket list for me.
Yeah, New Zealand's beautiful.
I'd love
stunningly gorgeous.
And Australia, I've never been to Australia.
I know, we talked about that. You've got to go because you have a crowd there who would love, Oh
my God, I would love it. Remember who was I having lunch with? Oh, it was Cornelia at this little restaurant in Brooklyn, and it was an Australian restaurant. Mm-hmm. We took a picture of the menu because I said, "Oh my God, I wonder if Trisha knows this." It's right, it's so close to her house. And I took a picture of it and texted you, and you were like, "Of course I know that." It's in Brooklyn and it's Australian owned. And Cornelia's like, yeah, she knows every Australian owned business. You never have to ask her that.
Well, not really, but yes, I did know that one.
But in Brooklyn, like,
it's ours. It's Brooklyn. It's our world,
Yeah. And if an Australian restaurant opens up, I'm so sad that I don't know if it was COVID related or not, but
the Vanderbilt.
No, that too. Yeah. No, but Kiwiana, the New Zealand. Oh my God.
I love that place. Yeah.
That made me so
I think that one was COVID. And I think the Vanderbilt is where you and I used to just meet up, remember?
That bartender was so nice.
I know, right? Anyway, that's gone now. But I do have their recipe for the charred broccoli sprouts. Brussels sprouts. What am I saying? Yes, I do. I should share that with you.
fantastic. And I'll have David make it for me. But then
Yes.
there has to be like a flirty bartender who pours really overly large pours.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Um, oh my God. All right. So we have, all right. So Rowan, since Marsha asked, what, how, I mean, I got to admit, I don't even totally fully understand what your new position is. So
No
I
one
don't,
does. It's okay. Sometimes I'm not really sure.
I mean, all I knew was that right after you got it, you were just never here. You were in every, I don't know how many
Yeah.
countries you hit in the first 6 months, but it seemed like a lot.
It wasn't as much as you would think. I
Seemed
was
like,
hired by this company called Metz Crafts, and they're based in Germany, and they have some German brands. So they had Schackemeyer and Regia Sockjarn. So I worked with that team, and then they also owned Rowan at the time. So I would go to the UK and
yeah,
go
you
back
were
and
like in
forth to
Switzerland
Germany.
and Germany, and you seemed like you were everywhere.
Well, Switzerland's only because the airport, the closest airport to the German office was in um, Basel. So I
Ah,
would fly there, get in the rental car, drive an hour north, past the DMC factory, and then go to our office. So yeah, it was fun. So that's why I was away, and it was
I don't,
great. It was such a great year, to
yeah,
meet so many new people, um, and work with some really cool people. It was great.
yeah, you hit the ground hard. Like
Yeah, but I
there was no,
loved it.
there didn't seem to be any sort of gentle orientation time. It was like, you're hired, let's go.
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
I mean, you've
It
been
was
doing
fun.
this for so many years. It's not like you need a lot of hand holding, but
No,
I don't
no,
miss airports.
I miss
I
airport lounges
see
because
you
well
had
because I was
yeah.
because I was traveling all year. I bought a pass.
Oh,
If you're traveling that much, you should.
yeah.
You know, and so that makes it so much different.
Yeah, I traveled so much in teaching that I had hit platinum
Hmm.
on Delta, but
Yeah,
platinum, they took away the option of one of your
uh,
platinum rewards of the membership. So I always took the 4 first class upgrade
yeah.
option. So I don't really miss the only thing I miss was I did love flying first class. I loved when I
Yes,
would use the coupons, I would search for the flights that had the Delta One, which were the flatbed. And then I used one of my certificates plus points when David and I flew to Switzerland to
yes,
do a
perfect.
flatbed. And then it's like unbelievable food and
I
wine and
know it's the
your,
best.
your comforter and basically like
Hmm.
I'm eating better than I do at home. And yeah, that was good.
I know. I do love those upgrades.
But I don't
Yeah.
miss all the national flying, all the, you know, I don't miss LaGuardia.
Well, the new LaGuardia is actually looking great.
Have you been?
Um, yes, I needed to rent a car recently, so I went to LaGuardia to get one. So that's the cheapest place to get a rental car in Brooklyn.
Wow. Because I think
Yeah.
the very last time I flew was in February, and it was to the last job I had before everything got canceled. It was 2 weeks before Vogue Seattle, and it
Hmm.
was somewhere in Virginia. And I remember sitting in the little co-op thing that they had me texting with Gabby about um, Seattle. But
Hmm.
we I flew out of LaGuardia, and it was the first new terminal that had opened, but it
Oh
was
yeah,
like this little dot of new in
yeah,
this sea. Like you had to walk through you had to go through the old security. So it was like the most broken
yeah,
down. And then you'd walk.
yeah. It's
I felt
horrible.
like I was walking to Virginia.
Yeah,
I walked so
yeah.
long. But
I think that next time we go to LaGuardia, it's going to be an amazing experience.
yeah, I did say to
Yeah.
David today, as soon as we're able to travel, because here I'm earning income, but there's not the same expenses, right? So
Yes.
the net is better. that we need to take like trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you should. Absolutely. And
so
also too, flying is super safe right now. The only area that's a problem is the airport. So if you can navigate that to be really separate from other people, lots of hand sanitizer and, everything else, then I think you'd be fine.
right. Well, the planes have always been really safe because of the filtered air, and Delta does a really good job with all their other stuff.
Oh,
But we're thinking
yeah, yeah,
maybe Vietnam, Thailand.
nice, really nice. And if you're going there when it's really warm, there's much less chance of, picking up COVID or anything too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not going anywhere till after the vaccine. I'm talking about like
Oh yeah, okay.
when we're traveling again. But I've also always wanted to go to Morocco.
Also, yes, I've never been there.
So
Cool.
where's your bucket list travel? You've gone so many more places than I have.
Well, I was supposed to be in Greece in last August, and that didn't happen. I was going to meet some Australian friends there. So I really do want to do that because I was so looking forward to it. Morocco. I wanted to go to South Africa again. Someone I know got married there this year, but I couldn't go to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I want to go to Scotland.
I love Scotland.
Yeah, I've not spent enough time up there. I want to, next time I'm in the UK, maybe take a week off and get a car and just drive.
Yeah, we've only been there once, and just only for like 5 days. And bizarrely, it was during the Fringe Festival, and we
Oh,
didn't even
nice.
know until we got there.
Mm-hmm. That must have been cool.
It was so cool. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Have you been to Morocco and want to go back, or have you
never been to Morocco. No, the only place in Africa I've been is South Africa.
Never been. I've always wanted to do that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in Africa I think would be so cool to see.
Yeah. I think the other thing that scrolling to see if anyone else has any questions. I think the other thing that I really was thinking about the other day that I'm going to miss is not so much the business end, but the social end of TNNA. Like I was, and actually a little bit of the business, because I was thinking about how, I've done some kits with Anzula, and I have one with Wonderland Yarns. And I was thinking, if there was still a TNNA, it would be so easy to just walk around and see everything in one place, and then walk around and talk to people and find out who's open to kits, who's open to doing drop shipment. Okay, get my list. But now there's nothing. There's no central place.
No, you've just got to reach out to the people that you know, and the relationships that you've formed over the years are there, and see what you can do.
Yeah. Aye. It's a whole world.
It's a completely different world. It's like the knitting industry has just been flipped on its, the whole thing is just completely changed in 5 years. It's not what it was.
Oh yeah. And so then there's the change within a change. It reminds me of like in pattern reading, it's like the bracket within the asterisk, the repeat within the repeat. So the change within the change is, in the last 5 years, everything of what I knew, because I sort of entered the industry in 2006 from, when I made the switch from stage management. So 2006 is when I started running The Point. And then the change within the change, COVID. So we have like everything that kind of shifted from the age of the company and publisher, and to the age of like the influencer and the and everything being sucked on. But then there's this positive change within the change, which is I do feel like COVID has brought a lot of new crafters.
Absolutely. Actually, did you see the article in the New York Times this week?
No, I heard about it, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. I just posted it on Facebook if you want to take a look at it.
And was it in a weekend or a daily?
I'm not exactly sure. I didn't,
because we get the Saturday and the Sunday delivered here.
Okay, then it must be a daily.
Okay.
But it was written by Perry Klass, who I'm sure you know who she is, but she's been writing about knitting for, 30 years. And she talked about how this is the time to teach someone to knit. This is it.
Yeah, and there is, I do love that there's a lot of people talking about being either teaching someone that they live with, like if they're quarantined with their roommates, their roommates are bored. Now, oh, we have like a captive audience, and we're sitting here watching Netflix, and I happen to be doing this. And now all of a sudden, my roommate looks over at me and says, "Can you teach me how to do that?" But then there are some people talking about like trying to do it on Zoom, which is harder if you're not a professional teacher with like an overhead camera and everything. But
True.
I think the in-person thing is pretty awesome.
Yes, I taught to 20 and 22-year-olds to knit this year during
Really?
quarantine. Yes.
How'd that go?
Great. We have a lot more yarn around the house than we did. But no, it was really fun.
You have access
Yeah,
to yarn,
I do.
kind of like the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Kind of.
I
Yeah.
do. I miss the Rowan booth at TNNA a lot because that's where I would always, I would go to the booth. I'd see Linda and say, "When do you have time?"
Yeah.
Wait, come back in. Lots of mime.
Yeah.
And we'd like find the time where she would actually like book an appointment time with me, which was so sweet. And she'd show me everything that was new. And
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's great. There's some great new yarn. Should I have a ball of my hand?
Do you have new stuff? Are we allowed
I do have new stuff.
Are we allowed to see new stuff?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, it's just kidding. Stores now.
Oh, so it's not secret new stuff.
No.
Oh wait,
this is the most scrumptious
your
yarn.
virtual background. It went in and out for a second, but there it is.
Yeah, it does that. Yeah. I should tell everyone where my virtual background is. So Rowan, for many years, was in Liberty of London, and a long story, but they kept taking away space from us, and it got to be a big loss. So we decided to move out of Liberty, and so Sharon, the brand director, found this place behind me, which is basically a wonderful old barn that's attached to some other stores. And it's out in the country in St. Albans, which is about an hour north of London. And there's a cafe there. So you can make it like a day of it, and it's gorgeous. And the store itself, as you can see, is beautiful. So that was one of the fun things I got to be involved in last year. Anyway, this yarn, let me get hold of it. This is chunky cashmere. But this is what I'm knitting with at the moment. It's like a cashmere chainette. It is so amazing. And then speaking of cashmere, I'm knitting on a size 10.
But it's a chainette, so it'll be really light.
It's so light and so gorgeous.
I loves me a chainette. I really.
Let me show you. We have a new chainette here. Hang on, I've got to.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. It's called Merino Aria because it's merino and it's filled with air. And this is probably the lightest yarn I've ever.
Oh, squish it again.
So it's like I think it's a 10.5 needle, and it is gorgeous and has amazing stitch definition. It's fantastic.
Now take one, hold up just one piece, and
just one piece.
And then pull your hands apart to see how much it squishes. Oh, the virtual background's making it go away.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it, yeah.
Yeah,
but it is really squishy. It's a really lovely yarn. Do you want to see the rest?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Pam just typed, "Shut up, chunky chainette cashmere with 5 question marks." Yeah, but
yeah.
Wait, what's
it's amazing
again?
The cashmere?
Cashmere?
Chunky cashmere.
Oh, chunky cashmere.
As David, our brand manager, says, say what's on the tin. Okay, so this is called, can you see that?
Yeah.
That's soft boucle. So that's for like making teddy bear coats. Oh, you can't see it. So it's really amazingly soft. So that's lovely. And then we have a little bit of glitz and glam. Put that over there. See, can you see the little bit of glitz?
Yeah, sparkly.
Little sparkles called patina, and you cannot feel any metallic in there. And it's got a massive amount of yardage. It's sort of like a mohair angora loveliness. It's also a chainette with this lovely little tiny bit of sparkle. It's very tasteful.
Oh, Pam wants to know, is this all available now? Is this?
Yes, all available. Yeah, in your Rowan store now. Ooh. And then there's one more, which I have to tell you about. This is extraordinary yarn. This, I'm pretty sure, is the best cashmere on the market. So this one is actually made by a company called Todd and Duncan, and they make the cashmere for Chanel and Burberry, and like if you're in the ready-to-wear, business, this is the cashmere company that you want to work with. So they'd never done a hand knit before, so we went to them, and this is actually, it's grown in Mongolia. They support the farmers there. Sorry, I'm just trying to hold it in the right place. Let's stay still. And then it comes to Scotland, and it's spun in Scotland on the banks of this loch called Loch Leven. And the water that actually they use, it's like how whiskey is like completely reliant on the quality of the water in Scotland.
Or bagels.
So the same, yeah, yes, exactly.
They say that of the bagels, yeah.
Yep. And so cashmere is the same way. And the water that actually, the water that actually goes back in after the production of this is cleaner than the water that came out of the loch.
Wait, so explain the water thing. I actually don't know anything about this.
Well, when you are creating the yarn, it's like water's used in the production of, a lot of yarn. You've got to wash it.
Okay.
So the water, the way, the purity of that water gives it a superior sort of washing, and then a superior cashmere.
I never thought about that. So like, depending on what the mineral deposits are in the water of, what do they say with wine? The
terroir.
Yes.
I can never say that word properly. Terroir.
Yes. I never thought about that for yarn.
Yeah.
I bet Sven's thought about that. We were talking about, North Light Fibers earlier. I bet you that is something that would be in his brain. And Laura.
Okay, so we have a yarn at Rowan called Island Blend, and it's actually merino from the Falkland Islands.
Oh, so good.
And because it's the salt air, and that means there's a certain kind of vegetation, and it's always cool, so they produce a superior merino simply because of the terroir, which word I cannot say properly. So it does have a big impact.
Yeah, I mean, Clara's talked about Falkland.
Oh, I'm sure she would. Yes, she would know a lot about it.
Yeah, she knows a lot about everything.
Everything, yes.
But there's something. It's also like very, and also this has, of course, to do with the spinning, but incredibly well balanced, and doesn't no torque in it, and
it's a superior merino, definitely.
Beautiful. Oh,
yeah, and very fine micron. Yeah,
I think I might be. A little email to Linda, hit her up for some.
Yes,
try out some new things.
We do have a new yarn coming for spring summer next year at Rowan.
Oh, we allowed?
And it's I'm just, well, not really, but I'm going to show you anyway.
Oh, you guys don't tell anyone. This is secret.
Don't tell anyone. So it's a cotton wool blend.
Well, what's the percentage?
50-50. It's also a sort of a chainette, but a very stretched out chainette. Is that a chainette?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's really nice. It's so soft. So they're actually using it a lot for baby clothes.
What's the gauge?
So incredibly soft. I can tell you that because I have all of my sales materials here.
Because it looks, I'm trying not to get too cool, but it looks like something that might work as a sub for Harbor Springs, which was a 50-50 wool cotton chainette, and now the yarn's been discontinued.
Oh. Okay, 1 second. Keep talking while I.
Because I love chainette, because here this is rib, and this big old garment is lighter than air because it's
yes, exactly.
And you can get like a nice chunky knit that you don't feel like you're a freaking weightlifter just from wearing it.
Yeah, agree.
But also, I'm so happy. I love the 50% cotton, 50% wool, and I felt like it was. Do you remember Classical Eats Song? That was also.
Yes, I love that yarn.
And then no one was doing 50-50, and it's a great blend. It's so.
Okay, so I was wrong. It's actually 60 cotton, 40 wool.
Okay, but we got a very good even blend though.
Yeah, and it's organic cotton and merino, and it uses a 6 needle.
Okay.
20 stitches.
Okay. So I'm going to have to check that out. Yeah. I meant like, it doesn't have to literally be 50-50, like there's a 55-45, but as opposed to, a 90% cotton, 10% wool, which is also lovely. But when you get into those blends that's a little more even, you can kind of go either way with your garment design. So I can make something for, spring, but when people who live in the areas of the country that can't wear, 100% wool garment, but they want to knit a sweater like that, then you have the elasticity of and memory of the wool, but you have the breathability of the cotton. It's just a brilliant blend.
It really is a lovely blend.
I'm so excited. Wait, so what was that one called? Or does it have a name?
Oh gosh, I don't know if it has. I think it's just called it's called cotton wool.
Okay, I need
again. Say what's on the tin.
Yeah, Freaky Geek. So it looks heavy, but it's light as air. Yeah, that's what I love about chainette, because they're hollow. So
yeah, exactly.
And actually it also makes it a more flexible gauge, because you can compress that chainette if you work it on a smaller needle if you want to, or you can leave it, light and fluffy.
Nice and airy. Yeah.
Yeah. What Pam says, careful, Trish, Patty's supposed to take December off. Oh yeah, but you're going to make a lot of time. Yeah, I am supposed to take December off, but that's also not really happening. Yeah. Oh, no. Freaky Geek says, I don't know if I can handle even 40% wool without itching. So there's
no itch in that.
Yeah. Like, I find that so many knitters assume wool equals itchy, but it's not true. It depends on.
Some people will itch from a merino, like a very fine merino, but most people should be able to wear a super fine merino and have no itch. But if she still itches, I forget what you said her name was.
Well, it's Freaky Geek. Freaky Geek, you can tell me your real name if you want.
So Freaky Geek, what Rowan has that you might like is a cotton cashmere blend, because cashmere will not itch. And that's a great yarn.
The best way, I think, to test if a yarn is going to itch is to give it to Pam, because Pam, I call the princess and the pea of knitters. Like, if Pam can wear something next to her skin and go, yeah, no, this is fine, then literally anybody can, because she's a little sensitive.
Okay.
I think allergy wool feels like fiberglass to the skin. Well, so the thing about wool allergies is they're actually really rare. A lot of people might have a wool sensitivity, but the actual allergy is pretty rare. Sometimes people are allergic to the lanolin, but
often people are allergic to the dyeing and the processing. Like if there's a superwash addition, or if there's I don't know what else they could be in there, but anyway, there's often additives that are put in. And if the dyes, like if you tried a beautiful like merino with an organic dye, might help too. There's not many organic dyes out there, but there's a little bit of it around.
Okay, so now I have to ask a stupid question. One of those questions that like interviewers ask stupid questions of movie stars that are like the same question they get asked over and over again. But are you knitting anything, or are you just too busy?
I actually finished a project this week. I started it 4 years ago. It's just a simple, massive seed stitch scarf that was on like size 15 needles. That used to be my, when I'm on the phone knitting, when you're on a long call. And it was back in the day when you didn't have Zooms and no one could see you. So I would just sit and knit. So this thing sort of dragged on, and I just
can't see me.
Exactly. Well, there's that too. So I finally finished that in front of the TV. I've been doing a little bit of binge watching, and then now I'm
for your scarf.
I've got and I've got a hat on the needles. I've almost done, and then I'm just casting on this chunky cashmere, because there's a wonderful free pattern for a big wide. I think it's a 23-inch wide wrap. It's gorgeous.
Oh God!
Because it's on 10.5 needles, it's actually doable.
And I mean, a towel would be so delicious in that chunky cashmere too, just right next to your neck. Because a hat is great,
I want the big wrap.
it's almost a waste because so much of my hair wouldn't,
Mhm.
I wouldn't feel the softness, but oh, cow,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
delicious.
No, I really fell in love with this wrap. It's gorgeous. So that's what I'm going to make with it.
Who was it that swapped? Oh, that's Clara. Sharon asked who was it that swatches and then puts it in her bra. That's Clara. That's
Yeah.
Clara Parks because she's
Yep.
quite mad. So all right
In the
now.
best possible way.
Oh, she's quite mad. I love her. Now in the land of binging, what's your favorite binge right now?
I actually just watched a show from New Zealand
Oh,
called, I think it's called The Sounds. So our New Zealand buddies on here might have seen that. It's like a murder mystery kind of thing.
I don't know that one.
That was cool. Yeah.
I was watching
Fairly new.
Broadchurch, and I had to
Oh, I
put
love.
the subtitles on.
Oh, really? Well,
Oh
he
my
has a
God.
very strong accent, doesn't
He
he?
has such a strong accent.
Yeah.
Scottish, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I love that show. Oh my God.
it was so good. We finished that, and now we started the Queen's Gambit, which I love.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. You should watch that.
Love that. We're
Yeah.
doing Queen's Gambit and the Umbrella Academy.
I
And
haven't seen that either.
we wanted one that would last a long time. So we started the Americans because that's 6 years.
Oh God.
And we're already in year 3. But
You know what I did watch?
What?
You'd love this. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because it's my local precinct.
Oh my God, I love that show so much. We watch that live. We watch that like every week when it would come out.
Oh yeah.
And it got canceled, and then Lin-Manuel Miranda was one of the ones that saved it.
Yeah. I know it's coming back. Yeah.
Love that show so much. Oh my God.
No.
I also
it's great.
for like network sitcoms, we also really like Superstore.
Oh really?
Yeah, that one's really funny.
Okay. I've never even heard of that. I don't normally watch those like network shows.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah.
We're trying to mix in some comedy with like the really dark stuff because we can't just, live in the
No, you have to mix it up.
So our really silly one is What We Do in the Shadows, the one about the vampires.
Never even heard of that. Oh my God, really?
I had never heard of it until
Yeah.
the Emmys, and it was nominated for like 1 million Emmys. I'm like, what is this show? It's hilarious. But it's really genuinely stupid.
Okay. Stupid's good. Right now we're as a group here in my house watching Silicon Valley reruns.
Oh, we love that show.
Yeah,
that was my road show. So I used to have road shows that were the ones that I'd watch on my own when I was on the road. So I didn't have to like save it for David. And that was one of my favorite road shows. So that was always on the iPad.
Right.
But I think it finally ended, didn't it?
Yes. It did.
Yeah. Yeah, that one finally.
But I've never watched it.
I've
never watched it all. And the third person living here hasn't watched it. So we're doing that.
It's extreme. Oh, Deborah seconds the nomination for Queen's Gambit. It's really, really
good.
Could not watch that show. What We Do in the Shadows? Really? Oh, I think it's really stupid and funny. I don't know. I really like it. And the other one what was the one that we just finished that was pretty? We finished Broadchurch. So David keeps a spreadsheet now because it's so hard to keep track. And the new, what's the date now? Today's the 11th. It's Veterans Day. The new season of The Queen starts.
Oh, when is that?
It starts, I think, on the 16th or 17th. It starts soon.
Oh, good. I can't wait for that.
And it goes up to Diana.
I know. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm also in the midst of watching every week the Great British Baking Show.
Oh, David's obsessed with that. But we're like way old ones. Are you in the current ones?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it only comes out every week. But I've watched every show.
Oh, yeah. Zanti loves that too. We're super old, but David likes that when they do the like transition shots and they show the field outside the tent. There's always sheep.
Yes, there's always sheep. Yes, I know. I know. I love that too.
That's my favorite part.
The
And
little
they're,
butterfly in the branch, a little
yeah,
bird, it's gorgeous.
I just
Like,
like it
whose
because,
job is that? Right?
pardon?
Whose job is that? Whose job is that to go and walk around that estate and shoot little bits of nature? I mean, that probably took a week and they got paid for that. That's amazing to me.
That's a good job. David
Yeah.
likes it because it's so not American
Mhm.
in their attitudes, like compared to, although the American shows have shifted. Like I actually heard there was a great story on NPR in like February, so it was kind of pre-pandemic, about the shift and in American reality TV, and they credit it in part to like Queer Eye and other shows that shift that they notice that people want to see goodness in the reality shows,
Yes.
and the appetite for backbiting and hatred is
Good.
reduced in the past
Good.
4 years. So like as our
Hmm.
reality becomes harsher, we want our reality TV to become kinder.
Nice. That's really
So
nice.
I noticed that like in Project Runway and in the Top Chef, that there's fewer like diary entries where they look in the camera and they talk about like, oh, did you see that? And more stuff about, oh, somebody ran out of this material, and then everyone's like loaning,
Yeah.
giving them and helping.
Hmm.
And there's much more of that.
Yeah. Now there's a new one on, I think it's on HBO, the Great Pottery Throwdown. Have you seen that one yet?
No.
It's amazing because they're just making pots, and it's like, oh, you just want to get in there with your hands and touch the clay, and it's really cool.
Oh, I wonder if Zanti knows about that, because when I first met her, she used to throw pots. She would
Oh,
do
she did.
pottery class every week. Yeah.
Yeah, she
But
would
I mean,
love that then.
that was ages ago, but now
Yeah, she would totally love it.
she's married now.
No, I didn't know that.
She's married to a lovely Frenchman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And
Yeah, give her my best.
they have a lot
That's
of
really
place in
cool.
Brooklyn. So, I
Oh, good.
got her to stay in the hood.
Hmm.
Let's see if we have any. Oh, Fisherman Friends is a wonderful movie. I don't know that movie.
Oh, I've seen that movie. Yes.
Cool. Um,
Yep.
Regarding Great British Baking Show, which I love. Why don't they give those poor bakers some air conditioning in the tent?
I know. I am completely with you on that. Like
That
last week was brutal. It was the hottest time it had ever been in the tent. And
really.
they're trying to deal with short crust pastry or something, and it's like melting. So they've got to run it to the freezer to freeze it up. So that, yeah,
Yeah,
they definitely need air conditioning.
we did just see an episode, and I'm trying, like we're in season 3, and it was something where, oh, I know, whenever they were making, they said, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge because for the whatever to set, you want the ideal temperature to be between this Celsius and this Celsius. Currently in the tent, it's this Celsius, and it was hotter in the tent than the ideal temperature that you're supposed to bring this thing
Yeah.
up to, like in a warming drawer or something.
Hmm.
So everyone was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
excellent point, Susan. Very good point.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else out there in TV land? Because, oh my God, it's almost 3 and I really should go and finish the, I'm still not finished the junior version of the affinity pullover that I promised my friend's daughter, which I'm still working on. There's a wonderful show from Canada about glass blowing.
Wow.
Rachel, do you remember
Cool.
what network that's on? Because I love glass blowing.
Also, yes.
That's the thing I love about glass blowing, in addition to the fact that it's amazing and beautiful, is it always not unlike knitting, it's one of the only crafts whose tools have never changed.
That makes complete sense. Yeah.
Glass blowing tools are exactly the same now as they,
Hmm.
maybe they tweak the materials here and there, but not even that much. It's like the wooden cup and the,
Hmm.
okay, now I have to Google that. We
Okay.
did go, David and I obviously have like gone virtually nowhere. since March, but we did decide in July, we took a driving trip just to like get out of this house. And we went to Corning, New York, and we went to the Corning Museum of
Oh,
Glass.
to the museum? I've always wanted to go there.
It's
That would be cool.
fabulous. It was our second time, and they're doing a really good job. It's by appointment only, and you're so spread out, and it's so big and airy, the very, very high ceilings in these galleries, that there were times when we'd walk into a giant gallery and David and I were the only ones in there, because it's all timed entries. And so it feels really well done, really well controlled, really safe. And I loved it. I love the Spanish Princess on Stars. Oh, I don't think I have.
Okay. I don't have stars either, actually.
Oh, Rachel says the glass blowing, she found it on either Netflix or Hulu.
Okay, I'm going to look for that then. Cool. Thank you, Rachel.
Totally want to look for that. That's probably oddly hypnotizing. I never got to see the knitting one. Was that on Netflix? The knitting reality show?
Which one do you mean?
It's the one where it's just people sitting around knitting.
Oh, the Norwegian one that goes on all weekend? Yeah, I never watched it either.
Was that Netflix?
I don't know where it was. I knew about it. Yeah, I did know about it. But, you talk to Annie and Carlos about that, and they're like, oh, Norwegians make TV about weird stuff.
Are they saying knitting is weird?
No. Just that they'll make like a really long show that lasts the whole weekend.
I know.
Just about knitting, and the whole country stops and watches it. They're really funny when they talk about it.
I love that. I have I showed it on Quarantine Live once. In one of the earlier Quarantine Lives, it was when Marilyn Sheep and Wool had just announced that they had canceled, and we were all feeling, a little raw. I found it's an hour. David found it because he read it about it in the Times. It's an hour and a half on YouTube, and it's just a live stream of these sheep in a field in Napa Valley.
Yeah.
And it is so relaxing. The sounds are great. You just put it up on the TV in the background, or your laptop in the background, and it's really relaxing.
Actually, that would be really nice to have during the day while I'm working, to hear the sheep bleating in the field, and every now and again just turn around and see the sheep. I think that's really cool.
It really is. I'll try to find the link and I'll text it to you. It's extremely soothing. All right, let's check in with the peeps before we have to go. Oh my goodness. Gotta watch Outlander for the knits.
I know. I've been watching Outlander. I'm on hold while I've got roommates, but when they leave again, I'm back on that one.
Is that the one that's a little naughty?
Yeah.
I think my friend calls that her Scottish soft porn.
Yeah, it is, exactly. And he is adorable, and it's really very nice. Yes.
Oh, knitting show was Slow TV on Netflix. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we have much to binge, much to knit. And now I have to bother Linda to get yarn. I used to love, she would send me all the Rowan designer boxes. They'd come, I don't know, you probably just get them in a box. You don't get the fancy, but they'd come in this lovely little, like a bag, like a netted, what's that?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Wool, the little netted bag with a lovely little ribbon that said Rowan, a little drawstring ribbon.
Yeah.
I appreciated that the presentation, even just for like a designer box, was so pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
It just made me feel like
special.
Yeah.
And it also means the yarn seems more special too when it arrives in a nice package.
And I always keep it. I would always keep them. And in fact, I have one in the closet. I brought, when I came up from Brooklyn, I like grabbed a bunch of yarn for like, well, maybe I'll swatch on this, I'll swatch. And I have, and Rowan has its own bin. I keep, these little plastic bins in my closet on the shelf, and some of it sorted by weight, but then some, when I get a lot of yarn from that company, they'll get their own bin. So I opened up the Rowan bin and I was like, oh, I just grabbed this whole bag, just took the whole bag. So it's got a lot of it's got some old friends in there too, like felted tweed and
oh yeah, felted tweed's an amazing yarn.
it's my old friend.
Yeah.
Just like,
And you know how to make felted tweed better? Just run it with a strand of kid silkays.
now you're just being naughty. Of
It's
course,
true though, it changes it. It's gorgeous.
You're fully aware of the nickname for that particular yarn.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Yes, of course.
Yes. The naughty name. I also really like the hemp tweed that I want to figure out what to do with, but I really liked it.
It's gone.
Oh shoot. Because I never figured out what to do with it. But I really liked it.
It was really nice. The one to replace that now is try the soft yak decay.
Oh, I have that. I do. I did bring that. And I do like that a lot. I like that a lot. Sticky is not the right word, but there's like it's got a nice grip to it. So the columns of stitches hang together nicely and you don't get that thing that I don't like where sometimes there's like in a 1x1, you know what? It passes the 1x1 rib test. So this will make sense to you and all of you, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's virtually impossible to do a 1x1 rib and have it look nice. You're going to have the knits open up. And the reason the knits open up is because of the path that yarn has to take into the purl. And it like is spreading the legs of the knit open. So sometimes to get the look like this, to get the look of a 1x1 rib, this isn't. It's 1x2.
Yeah.
Right, to get the look. But soft yak hangs together. And so you don't have that, it doesn't blow out the air in the middle of the stitches that makes a 1x1 rib look sloppy. So it passed the 1x1 rib test. It was really nice. I forgot about that one. That one is in my closet. Why do I keep looking over there like it means anything to you? But it's right over there. It's in my closet.
And also that's a good one for our friend who can't wear wool, because the yak is really soft and it's yak and cotton.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I believe it's yak and cotton. Pretty sure, actually.
I think so too, because it was not dissimilar to like a cashmere cotton weight that I had. Yeah, and it's got a nice squish to it. Oh yeah, Pam says soft yak is delightful to work with.
So perfect.
And says can wear next to my skin.
Perfect. Yep.
Oh, and Blown Away on Netflix. Here we're getting both yarn and television viewing.
Okay, good to know.
So I have to go and shoot yet more videos. No, today is actually going to be my editing day because I shot tons of videos yesterday because I've got to drop a new pattern part on Sunday. At the end of Vogue, I thought that was a good idea. Like I'll teach this weekend. She's putting up the blend, 75% cotton, 15% yak, 9% nylon. Thank you, Pam. Apparently she has access to a ball band. So we have a little thing that we say before we leave. Now there's a 30-second delay, so I always give people time to catch up. So here we go. Get ready to type it if you're with me. So we always say when we leave the reminder, wash your hands, don't touch your face, wear a mask, knit on. So that is our goodbye. So I'll be back in Brooklyn after Vogue. So I'll hit you up and see if you're in town.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere.
All right. So I've got to hold on, moving my cursor over here. Get ready for the, where's the thing where okay. So before we end the live stream, I just want to thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It was a great way to catch up because it's been so long.
And I can't believe I didn't think you bring us yarn, but that was like an exciting treat.
Well, it just happened to be spoken about and I'm surrounded in my little corner here.
That's like the first time that I've gotten to see any new yarn actually. So it felt a little bit like I just went to the Rowan booth at TNA and I got to see.
Well, you know, you can always call me and I'll do a little Rowan presentation for you.
All right. Well, thank you
Anytime.
so much. I'm
Thank you.
gonna say
Thanks
goodbye.
everyone for coming.
Bye. Thank